So today I'm going to be talking about how I got started in film, filmmaking, videography, wedding, that kind of stuff. It's basically how I self-taught myself. I did not go to school for this. I did not have anyone teaching me crap. I had a little teaching, a little bit, which I'll dig in a second. But basically it was all self-taught. So I'm gonna share kind of my techniques of how I did that. And I feel like this could pertain to a lot of different aspects of life, not just filmmaking, if you're wanting to learn something and not go to school for it. So yeah, let's get started. So I never went to college. The plan was to go to college, but then I ended up not, and I don't regret that at all. But I do understand that, you know, it is a little easier when you think about it because, you know, you're having an instructor teaching you. You're not having to figure out what you need to learn. They're kind of telling you what you need to learn and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, looking back, I didn't even want to go to college for videography. That wasn't even on my radar. It was like photography and like painting and art and stuff like that. So that would have been kind of horrible to spend all that money going to college for that reason when it's not even something I ended up doing. So when I started out, I was at ground zero. I was a photographer for a very long time being like 3 years. It's a long time in my life. It was like 3 or 4 years, I believe. And we just had a gap in the church of like, hey, we need this position filled. So I was like, hey, I'll do it. I hold a camera. Maybe I can film. And so I just started filming for church, basically like following the pastor along with that kind of stuff. I paid my way through Bible college because of that. I did go to Bible college, but it was only because it was going to be paid. I'm gonna put that out there. So because of filming that, then the media director at the time was like, hey, I'm gonna be going to full-time firefighting and someone's gonna need to fill this position because you've been filming. Would you want to do this? And during that time too, I was kind of like watching him as he edited because there was times where I was gonna need to edit because of his work schedule. So it really worked out. The program that he used to edit is the program that I still use, which is Final Cut Pro X. So basically in these learning sessions, all I did was just sit there and watch what he did. So like every shortcut he did, everything, I would just try to like figure out, and sometimes he would let me do certain stuff and kind of get a feel for it, but he really explained a lot of things to me, so I like logically understood like how long clips needed to be and transitions and all this stuff. So I mean, it really helped me out a lot. So once the current media director stepped out and I stepped in, I realized that I couldn't stay where I was at. I was kind of plateaued for a while. I wasn't going downhill, but also wasn't improving at all. So it was just kind of like, I probably should start learning some more stuff. And so I went to YouTube. Big shocker there. Guys, YouTube is amazing. I learned everything from there. So one summer I decided, because I was a nanny and I had the whole summer off, that I was going to focus solely on watching like YouTube videos, and not only that, but like writing stuff down, things I didn't understand, things I was trying to understand, shortcuts, all that kind of stuff. My one main person that I watched was Film Riot. It was absolutely amazing. I love all their content. They have so many videos. They basically go like behind the scenes and like Hollywood techniques and tricks and tips and do it yourself and all this stuff. And it was amazing, exactly what I needed at the time. And it really helped me to understand what I was doing. So the next thing I did to better understand film as a whole is kind of understand the lingo. I literally went onto IMBD, which I have the app, and it's incredible. Absolutely love it. Highly suggest you to download it. I'm going to bring it back up again in a little bit. But basically I went through the glossary like A to Z and like wrote down anything that sounded interesting, sounded cool, sounded like, oh, I want to use that one day or whatever. And that was really neat to kind of like dive into this like world that I was just kind of learning, because I was really new to it and I didn't really understand it. The other thing that I did with this IMBD app was, if I was watching a movie and I really liked it, in the middle of watching the movie, I would like go on to IMBD, search up that movie, go down, like click on the movie and then go down and then look in the trivia section. That place has so much stuff just jam-packed in there of like certain techniques that the director used, or certain things that happened on set, or drama, or like why this director decided to do this instead. Like so much stuff, and I learned a ton about movies just by reading that. So I mean, it was like right at my fingertips. It was really great. I do that, it's like a habit now. Every time I watch a movie that I really like, I go and I read about it and I research more about it, and I'll see like what was the composer, what was the director, what was the cinematographer, and what else did they do, and all this kind of stuff, and it leads to lots of rabbit trails, but then I end up understanding a lot more about film, and that was the goal. For me with filming, you have to kind of understand film and its history and its background and why shots are set up a certain way and why are they filming in that kind of motion, because everything had a meaning behind it, and I didn't understand that. And that's where we're getting to the next part of this, which was watching breakdowns, case studies of movies, and I eat those up. I love watching those. They really break down of like how this was shot and why this was shot and why they used this kind of dialogue and why this added to the scene, or even like why did this take away from the scene, and it really analyzes movies. And the more you do that, the more aware you become of like, this is why I'm gonna shoot this way, because everything that is filmed like invokes a certain feeling. So you don't want to like have a shot that is making people feel like frightened and scared when that's not all what you're trying to convey, but because of like the music you picked out or the camera angles that you're doing, that is what's being like, that's what people are feeling. So understanding film is very crucial. It's very crucial to me to understanding like how I'm gonna film, how am I gonna relate emotion, because that's just really important. And that's what I did. So I watched breakdowns from like Nerdwriter or Now You See It or Cinematography Database. That dude, like, I watched like his videos are like maybe an hour long, and he will go inside like all these scenes and break down lighting and which angle this lighting was coming on and the coloring and all this stuff. And like watching it, I remember being really overwhelmed and being like, movies aren't just movies. Like I had this epiphany of like, oh my gosh, like movies are just so much bigger than I ever thought. I really thought it was just like a person sitting in camera there filming, and then like, oh, the pretty actors come in and act, and that's what made the movie good, like that's why people like it. No, you really start to understand so much meaning behind these movies, and it's insane and it's crazy, and I got to learn that because of watching these videos. Another thing that I did was reaching out to the outside. I asked a lot of people a lot of questions, and unfortunately I don't get very good responses, or I get no response. I'm actually kind of like trying to calm myself down thinking about it. So me personally, if someone reaches out, I've had this happen before, someone reached out and was like, hey, watch this wedding video that I filmed, what do you think about it? Give me your honest opinion. And I watched it and I gave her my honest opinion of it. I broke down like, this is blah 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 and all that kind of stuff, because if someone's asking me for my opinion, if someone's asking me for help, I'm sorry, I'm clenching my fist, I'm not mad, I'm just really cold by the way. If someone's asking me for my opinion, I'm going to give it. I don't believe in like keeping your techniques a secret. I feel like you should share that. If you've learned it from other people, which that's mainly what we do, we learn from other people, then you should share that, and you should be okay with sharing that. I'm not talking about when I tried to reach out to Elevation about their font. I'm over that. But I reached out to a church recently, and I was asking for help on like audio and lighting equipment, and I understand that they're like really busy right now, but at least like tell me, hey, super busy, I'm so sorry I cannot get back to you or whatever, and not just kind of like, hey, not email me back, because we were talking back and forth like a few times, and then all of a sudden it was dead quiet, and I was like, it's been like 2 weeks now and I've heard nothing back, so that kind of disappointed me a little bit.
Disappointed!
I do feel like churches, we should be here to help each other out, to be open about our process, and if we don't have time, then let's communicate that. That's so easy, being like, hey, I've got so much on my plate, so sorry I can't help you right now, but maybe in the future I can. That's fine. Don't ignore me. You're gonna be on my most wanted list. One person that I really learned a ton from was the guy who was a media director before I was. He taught me so much, and it was such basic principles. And one thing that he told me, I mean, he kind of yelled it at me because he was trying to get a point across, and whatever, good job, was build the story, cat. That's what he said. He said, build the story, cat. I wrote it down on my whiteboard. I was like, this is such great advice, because at the end, you're building a story. You need a beginning, you need a middle, you need an end. How that looks, how you're portraying everything. It doesn't matter what type of story it is, whether it's someone's testimony or whether it's a vlog. You need beginning, middle, end to just make sense. So that was one thing that he taught me that was absolutely amazing. So with learning anything that's new to you, it can get really overwhelming thinking about all the aspects that you don't know about. And there were times where I had to step back and take a break. I grounded myself from YouTube one time and told myself, you're getting overwhelmed, you need to just step back and kind of chill. And that's sometimes what you have to do. It's not about learning everything that you need to learn right now. It's about teaching yourself endurance so that you don't burn yourself out. It's about teaching yourself the things that you need to know right now and not worrying so much about what I'm gonna need for the future. I felt like this was also for people that not even wanting to learn about film, but learning about something that they're new at or whatever, that no one expects you to learn everything right now, that it is a learning process, and that's okay. Just like if you went to a college to learn it, you've got 4 years to learn this specific task. Like, they take their time and they break things up in such a way that you learn certain things and you get to a higher level. So you got to do that stuff with, you got it? You got it? You have to do that with yourself and realize that you can't like snap your fingers and all this information just come flooding into your brain and you suddenly understand everything. I do want to say thank you for watching these videos. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, like it, give it a thumbs up, the bloop bloop. And if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe. Hopefully this video helps you a little bit out to kind of understand how I got to this place, because I feel like if I share that, then it's like, oh, she started from ground zero. I'm at ground zero. I can get somewhere. I'm not saying I'm at the top right now, obviously, but I hold camera nicely. I don't know. It is getting so dark outside. I hate this. It is 4:48. Dang it! Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See ya. That was new.